Baseball is full of amazing records, but there are a few that seem like they may never be broken. Imagine playing every single game of a baseball season, no injuries, no breaks, and no sick days, and then doing that for 16 straight years. Sounds crazy, right? Well, one man did it. Cal Ripken Jr. played in 2,632 consecutive games, and no one in today's game is even remotely close. To put this in perspective, the most recent streak that even sniffed Ripken's was Whit Merrifield's 553 games, which is still 2,709 games behind. That's over 10 years away from matching Ripken's insane run. And let's be honest, baseball doesn't even work that way anymore. Managers reset their stars, trainers protect their players, and teams prioritize longevity over durability. But Cal Ripken Jr. was built different. They didn't call him the Iron Man for nothing. He fought through injuries, exhaustion, and everything in between just to keep stepping onto that field. This wasn't just about baseball. This was about mental and physical dominance at a level we will never see again. So, how did Ripken do it? And why is this record truly remarkable? Let's break down how this just might be the most remarkable record in baseball history. To understand just how insane this record is, you need to go back to what Ripken was up against. Before he even approached this milestone, the original record belonged to Lou Gehrig, whose streak of 2,130 consecutive games stood for 56 years. Many thought it would never be broken. Yet Ripken didn't just break it, he crushed it, adding 502 more games on top of it before voluntarily ending his streak. For 16 straight seasons, Ripken was a fixture at shortstop and third base for the Baltimore Orioles. He was not a designated hitter resting his legs. He played one of the most important and active positions on the field. What makes the streak even more mind-blowing is the countless obstacles that could have stopped it. There are so many ways a player can miss a game: injuries, illness, personal issues, travel fatigue, a simple bad day at the plate, and even something as common as diminishing skills as a player ages. Yet Ripken never let any of them take him out of the lineup. Even more impressively, he did not just show up, he performed at an elite level. Over the course of the streak, Ripken was a 19-time All-Star, 2-time All-MVP, 2-time AL MVP, and won 2 Gold Gloves for his defense. One of the key reasons Ripken was able to maintain his streak was his strategic training routine. Unlike many players who try to bulk up and push their bodies to the limit in the offseason, Ripken adjusted his workouts based on the time of year. During the season, he focused on strength preservation and injury prevention, ensuring that he could recover quickly and avoid overloading his body. His ability to stay strong without breaking down was one of the biggest reasons he could keep going. Another underrated factor in his streak was his mental toughness. Baseball is as much a mental game as a physical one, and playing that many games in a row means dealing with slumps, criticism, and exhaustion. Ripken never let that faze him. Even through injuries like sprains and muscle strains, he fought through the pain and kept taking the field. The truth is that this record is never getting broken. Not in 5 years, not in 50, not ever. We've already mentioned Whit Merrifield's 553 game streak is the longest in recent history, and that's still over 2,000 games short of Ripken's streak. But it's not just about how long the streak is. The way baseball works today makes this record literally impossible to touch. Here's why. Number 1, load management and rest days are now standard. Back when Ripken played, there was no such thing as load management. If you were healthy, you played. Simple. Now teams actively force their best players to take rest days. It's not even about avoiding injuries. It's about maximizing performance over a full season and extending careers. Even superstars like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts don't play all 162 games. Managers and trainers won't let a player push themselves the way Ripken did. They're too valuable, and the teams are too careful. Number 2, injuries are inevitable over that long a stretch. This one is obvious, but it can't be overstated. We mentioned before that Ripken played through injuries, but modern sports medicine doesn't work like that anymore. If a player tweaks a hamstring or has a minor strain, they sit. If they feel off, they sit. And if they have a bad injury, they could miss weeks or even months. Even if a player miraculously avoided serious injuries, the wear and tear alone will eventually force him to miss a game. Number 3, the business of baseball has changed. MLB players are worth millions. Teams invest heavily in their stars and protect those investments at all costs. Ripken never signed the kind of massive contracts we see today. If a player is making $300 million over 10 years, no team is risking that by playing them into the ground. They're sitting when needed, period. Number 4, the grind of a 162-game season is unreal. Baseball's schedule is brutal, 162 games in about 180 days. No real offseason if you make deep playoff runs. Constant travel across time zones, and Ripken did this for 16 straight years without missing a single game. That's insane. Today's players can't get through one season without needing a break. Number 5, the streak mentality is gone. This might be the biggest reason of all. Players today don't care about playing every single game. It's not how success is measured anymore. Teams care about postseason performance, not endurance streaks. A player's goal isn't to play every game, it's to be at their best when it matters most. Cal Ripken Jr. wasn't just a great baseball player. He was a symbol of dedication, resilience, in a sport where those qualities are harder to maintain than ever. His career wasn't defined by just the streak, but by what the streak represented: an unshakable commitment to the game, his team, and the fans who showed up every night expecting to see him on the field. While the 2,632-game streak is his most famous accomplishment, Ripken's actual performance on the field is just as legendary. 3,184 hits, one of only 33 players in MLB history to reach 3,000. 431 home runs, 2-time AL MVP, 1983 and 1991, 19-time All-Star, 8-time Silver Slugger Award winner, 2-time Gold Glove winner, and the 1983 World Series champion. But maybe the most underrated part of his career was how he changed the shortstop position forever. Before Ripken, shortstops were mostly small, defense-first players. They weren't expected to hit home runs or be the face of a franchise. Ripken changed that. He proved that a shortstop could do it all: hit for power, play elite defense, and lead a team. His influence paved the way for guys like Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, and other superstar shortstops who came after him. And then there was the night of September 6, 1995, the night he officially broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive gameplay record. Baseball at the time was still recovering from the ugly 1994 strike, and a lot of fans had turned their backs on the sport. But when Ripken played in his 2,131st straight game, something special happened. The entire stadium stood up and gave him a 22-minute standing ovation. Players from both teams stopped the game to celebrate him. Even people who weren't baseball fans understood that they were witnessing history. That moment helped baseball win back the fans it had lost. It wasn't just about breaking a record, it was about proving that there were still players out there who played for the love of the game. That's why Ripken's streak is more than just an impossible record. It's a symbol of dedication, work ethic, and perseverance. And what does his legacy mean for baseball today? Well, let's be honest. The game has changed. Teams are more careful with their players, and with the amount of money involved, no organization wants to risk their star player getting injured just to keep a streak alive. That's completely understandable. But that's what makes Ripken's streak even more legendary. We will never see another player to do what he did. There will never be another streak like this. But Ripken's influence isn't just in the record books. It's in every young player who dreams of being an Iron Man in their own way. His name will always be remembered. His streak will always be untouchable. And his place in baseball history is set in stone forever. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think there's even the slightest chance that someone someday could come close to Ripken's streak? Or is this the most unbreakable record in all of sports? Let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more unbelievable sports stories like this one.